Hi there again, and I hope you can now actually hear me again, like in good quality, because I fixed the mics. They're still the same. Uh, I just cleaned out my phone charging port, which the dongle plugs in for the mic. Anyways, now you can hear me. Now I can tell you what this video is probably about. I actually tried to record a video last week, and I decided not to continue filming it because the mic was awful and you couldn't hear anything at all because my phone mic is broken and this one didn't work. So my phone recorded over its own mic and was awful. So, anyways, new day or evening actually, and the bike is still like this. Uh, like the last time you saw it, it's still not assembled. We still have these ones lying around, not mounted. But that's not the main part of this video actually. It will be one part, but the main part will be the following. Um, I told you about Jürgen a lot. I told you a lot about Jürgen and said he's like the engine guru of Yamaha bikes and stuff. And tomorrow I'm going to drive to Jürgen, and with the new engine, with the new crank, and with all the small parts I bought, like the carb or also the fork, because he found the fork, the rear damper, because he has like the mounting fork. He has one. That's still good. So I'm going to get this fork and we will take a look on the engine. And I'm hoping he will agree to let me film the whole thing with him. Like, not entirely because we're going to talk about a lot of shit and stuff. So, not all of it, but maybe some smaller updates. I will ask him tomorrow when I'm there, and I hope he says yes. If not, this will be a very short video of me just showing you to install these things and then time traveling to like tomorrow evening maybe and telling you what we found out. But anyways, you will have a new video, get some tea, coffee, whatsoever, and relax. So yeah, and actually what I forgot, uh, I told you I tried to record a video. I didn't tell you what, so I would have recorded or made the first car related video because my car, which is a Volvo V73 from 2009, broke down. It didn't really break down in the sense of like engine failure or anything. Um, just like the auxiliary belt, like not the timing belt, like the belt for the AC pump and stuff, failed. So I was stranded with a very rubbery smell. But I fixed it, and there's still some old parts left because on this car it's very common to have like a broken generator pulley, because the pulley has like a, I don't know how you call it in English, it was the same problem last week. Um, this part actually allows the generator to spin freely from this part, like from the wheel, so to say, like bearings kind of stuff, like one way thing to still turn like the pulley but not turn the generator, just not to overstress it. I really forgot the name. In German it's Freilauf, and I didn't look it up, so maybe later I tell you what it's actually called in English. But anyways, I changed this out because they often fail and they lock up and disassemble themselves on no node and they will snap the belt. And often if the auxiliary belt that goes like on here, which also powers the power steering pump, AC pump and the generator, if this one fails, it often winds around the crankshafts. And the stupid thing is you have like the auxiliary belt, a piece of plastic, timing belt. So if the auxiliary belt snaps, it will knock through the plastic and kill the timing belt and also kill your engine. So that's something I was recommended by a friend of mine who's a Volvo mechanic to change early, because this is like a very common problem. But yeah, I actually thought the belt snapped because of like this thing I showed you, the pulley, but actually it snapped because the AC compressor locked up, like entirely. It just locked up. And there are two belts, like one big auxiliary belt, and maybe I can show you a picture like here so you can see it a little better. You basically have like crankshaft, that's like the big wheel. Then you have the generator up there. You probably can't see it on the picture. I don't know which picture I'm going to put in here. And then you have the power steering pump below. That's like one belt with a tensioner. That's the big belt, which was totally fine, luckily for me. And then the AC compressor is powered by a second belt, smaller belt, from the power steering pump. So as the AC compressor locked up, the power steering pump was still being turned, and the smaller belt snapped, and nothing really bad happened, beside a very stinky smell and the AC compressor locking up, of course, but the engine isn't broken, so I was lucky and I fixed it. And well, I installed a new belt, like main belt, but the secondary belt, the smaller one, is not new, because I don't have the money currently to like buy a new AC compressor, because they're kind of expensive. And it's also like autumn and winter time, so you don't really, yes, you should use AC still to have like dry air and stuff, but it's not like you have 30 degrees outside and are sweating in the car. It's more like 10 to 15 degrees, so you're more like heating the inside. So it's not that awful, but I will repair it, of course. I just left out the secondary belt for now. Maybe I will do a video like on the AC compressor installed, because I will also replace the rear control arm bushings with that Volvo mechanic friend, and maybe I will do a video if he's like into it and says yeah, it's okay. But if not, I will just show you a short video like of smaller sequences at some point. But anyways, I got carried away. Let's finally install the little knuckles, the thingies, rear suspension thingies. But yeah, enough talk, time to do stuff. So, we are at the bike, and I have something printed out, which is like the whole drawing of the rear swing arm, and I realized the lighting is awful for you. But yeah, we are looking at the swing arm from below the bike, and that's the swing arm. That is like the bone thingy number 1, bone thingy number 2, and as you can see, we already installed all the bearings, all the seals, everything, which we did in one of the previous videos, all the bearings, all the seals on all ends. And yeah, now we are going to bolt it up in here. I will actually do like a time lapse, because I also have to take a look how I'm going to assemble this, especially in what holds the frame, in what kind of holes I'm going to bolt it on the frame. Yeah, you are going to see it in like 30 seconds, and I'm doing it like for quite some time. What took you like, I think maximum like a minute of watching, took me like an hour of sanding, fitting, sanding, seeing if it fits, actually, because the powder coating is pretty thick, and if you have like both sides like thickened, or it's more narrow, so you have to grind it out. And I sent it out, and it was like quite a lot of work, and I didn't want to like go to bare metal, so I sanded both sides kind of equally so I can see and hope that it fits. And now it fits. One of the bolts was a little tighter, and I think I got it right, because now, as you can see, I just like for seeing the bike is I just mounted the fuel tank and one of the rear parts. Of course, this is going to get work done to. This is basically painting and stuff like this. Also the fuel tank really needs a respray, and also like it has like an ugly pad on the front that needs to go. But anyways, now you can see swing arm stays where it is. This is the lower position. I'm not sure if I assembled it right, but according to like all the drawings, it should be. That's the lower position. That's the upper position. I think for a street bike, because I never built a street bike before. I only built one bike like from scratch, or let's say like not scratch, like from like boxes, and it was like an enduro bike, like off-road bike. So the suspension travel, I think, is right, because that's the lowest setting you can go. Then this is the most, yeah, it's like the travel before hitting the rear frame, which is not too bad. Yeah, and I'm quickly going to show you, or not. I will shortly rearrange stuff, and I will show you the finished suspension linkages finally. So, as you can see, both of the bony thingies are in, and if we lower the whole frame down and I put you in here, you can see like the front one, the back one, and there you can see the hole which the shock is going to bolt to, and that's like the hole for the shock. That's the fuel tank, and yeah, I screwed it in by hand, so wait, give me a second. And under here there's like the big hole for screw it into too good so it doesn't slip away. So under here you can see, like on the back there, like this hole, this one, yeah, like this one. The shock will be mounted like on this part, and yeah, I don't know why, but seeing this thing in, yeah, I know that's not painted, these things are, this one is still ugly, the screws are still not pretty. I know there's still work to do, but seeing the bike in a more bike-ish kind of shape is actually quite satisfying to me. And yeah, I will have to look after these dents. Whoops, as I told you at some point, I do detailing for yeah, like for some money as a student, and we have like a professional dent repair guy coming to us like once or twice a month, so he will have some work with this, because as you can see, you have this dent and these two, and yeah, that's actually the only ones. This one is okay. Basically just on the front here and here, but and maybe you can see this one and this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dents. And actually all of them have this. Like every single fuel tank I looked at has at least these dents. I don't know where this one is coming from. Maybe if somebody crashed with the bike and I don't know, the handlebars kind of knocked it over, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, that's the bike for now. So I will think I will finish for today because I don't have like anything to do now, like actually now, beside like removing the panels and stuff, which I will do quickly now while I do the middle of the video outro kind of thingy. Because as I told you, tomorrow I will drive to Jürgen, which is like an hour away from the basement I'm working in. Because this is my parents' house and I actually do live somewhere else because I study in a different city, and actually it's like a triangle between Jürgen, the city I study, and my parents' home. So it's like there's my parents' home, there's Jürgen, and here's the city where I study. So it's actually a kind of a triangle. So if I drive to Jürgen and then drive to the study city, I would say it's like shorter, of course, but it doesn't really matter. So yeah, anyways, as I told you, we have finished the rear linkage thingy. I will show Jürgen a picture tomorrow and ask him if this is right, because as I told you, I'm not too sure about the whole travel thing, because it's not, okay, can't do this like this. It's not that big of a travel, and I'm not sure if this is correct or not. And I will ask him, and then we will see if I have to disassemble everything or if anything is missing or like this. But it looks good, it's tight, it's all greased up. I hope you could actually like see this all in the footage, I hope. And if not, this is like a very weird time traveling thingy for you, so take it as it is. Yeah, so I hope the next video snippet will be me showing you Jürgen and his garage and the engine, and talking about literally anything. Tomorrow could be like the day where I like find out the engine is total trash because I don't know, the gearbox is fucked or something like this, but I don't know. Don't want to be too pessimistic about it, because I don't think the gearbox is blown. There was no metal inside. Like, you get the drill. It was like just, it's like, in Germany we would call it Überraschungsei, like surprise egg exactly. And yeah, I'm excited to see Jürgen again, because he's like, he knows so much stuff, and every time I talk to him on the phone or visit him, it's like expanding my mind around bikes and two-stroke and the mechanical engineering stuff, because I think I never told you, I study mechanical engineering and business administration. It's like a combined degree, and so I also have a personal interest in mechanical engineering, and he is a mechanical engineer, so, and also building bikes. That works well, so we both have a technical understanding, but of course he has a lot more, so every time it's like learning something totally new. And yeah, so I'm excited, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Until then. Hi everyone. As you can see, we are not in any kind of workshop, because yesterday I was at Jürgen's workshop and we had a look at the engine. I didn't really film anything because we were talking about lots of stuff, and I don't know, about people or companies who do specific things that I need or something like this. So wasn't like only about the engine. So also I wasn't like filming it, feeling like filming it. So I will quickly just tell you what I found out about the engine with Jürgen, and in a future video I will show you on the engine maybe also. But it's not that big of a deal, because overall the engine looks pretty good. Condition wise, the cylinders look very good actually. They don't need replating, they only need to be honed. Of course, Jürgen will work on like the channels in the cylinder, because the original channels are too low and too small. And yeah, that's for the cylinders. Pistons look okay. I will buy new ones, of course. And cylinder heads is a different thing, because I showed you the first engine, and this is now the second engine. I switched for the first engine, and the cylinder heads that are currently on the engine I have, the second one, are from the first engine, because on the second, when I picked up the second engine, I removed the cylinder heads just to take a look, and they were pretty damaged around, like the thread of the spark plug. They were like big metal pieces, like this big, missing. So I was like, gonna take the old ones, but I didn't consider, in order to have a big bore engine like the first one, you also have bigger pistons, you have bigger cylinders, and you also need to put the cylinder head on the lathe and expand the chamber, the burning chamber. And so this is a little bigger, but it's not that big of an issue, because I talked with Jürgen and he said, okay, we are going to do the following. We are going to hollow out the cylinder head, or let's say the burning chamber, and remove it totally. And then we are going to put in a billet aluminum piece, which will be the chamber with a different geometry, like geometric, like a different construction of burning chamber, because the original one was also part of the backwards tuning, because the engine needed to be like 40-45 horsepower, and it had more, so they reverse tuned it, as I told you in some kind of videos before already. And that's also a part of it, and it's not optimal, and we want it to be optimal, so we're going to put it in, so it's not that big of a deal. So cylinder head needs some work, cylinder channels, of course, and crank will be new anyways. I showed you this already. I will, how do you call it? Like clean the whole cylinder heads, and the casing, and all engine parts, outer parts, with glass beads, like just to clean it, have a good look, because it's not like totally dirty, but it's not pretty. So yes, and I'm also going to get the bolts zinc plated, all also on the drivetrain, because I showed you the bolts before and they weren't really pretty. So I came to the decision to mark every bolt, make pictures in any kind of way, just document where which bolt came from, and then I'm going to send off every bolt I have. I'm sure I will forget like 20, but I will try to send off everything in one batch, get them replated, and yeah, that's it actually for the engine. Of course, I'm going to overhaul the clutch, because yeah, it doesn't look bad, but if you're doing like an engine overhaul in this kind of scale, just the new clutch discs, like the rubbing things, they are not too expensive. Also new springs, of course bearings and seals, but that's actually everything for the engine. And we talked about a lot of stuff, like really a lot of stuff. I was there 3 hours and we talked about two-stroke bikes, engines, about everything, like for very long time. So there was a lot of new input. Also, what I wanted to show you, I will quickly get it. It's like in front of the camera but below, so you will just hear me rumbling around. It's this book. I know, I think everyone who looks is watching my videos is speaking German, because they're friends with me in some kind of way. But for everyone not speaking German, if you are watching this, this book is like basics of two-stroke design, or basics of two-stroke functionality, two-stroke engines. And it was recommended by actually a visitor on like an e-mobility like event where I was with my university, and I talked with him because he had an RD350 31K, I think, and he told me this book is really good for like the basics, understanding the basics, or from a more deeper perspective, also with an engineering background. It's totally interesting. So I bought the book. It's called basically the fast running two-stroke engine. by Helmut Werner Bönsch. And yeah, this will help me a lot. And also Jürgen, I told Jürgen about the book and he said, yeah, that's like 20% of the basic knowledge. And he has a lot of books that I can lend from him to learn more. And I'm actually very eager because I know two strokes are old-fashioned. They are not like, you will not, in the future, you will not see a two-stroke car at no point. Of course, you will not see new two-stroke bigger bikes than 50cc because of emissions and stuff. But I personally just like him because, yes, you can drive like, I had a BMW R850R, just a big boxer bike, heavy. It's not boring, it's reliable, it's quiet, it has power, but I don't know, it's like driving a Volkswagen Golf for fun because the bike is for fun, and it wasn't my kind of fun, so that's more like it. Like the whole FreeXV project is more like, I don't know, dailying. I don't really have like a comparison for it, but because a fast bike with a very different type of engine, also totally different setup in every kind of way. And yeah, actually, what I forgot to tell you about exhaust situation. Maybe I told you already, but I'm not going to run the original exhaust from Yamaha, of course, because they are restricted as well, and then you also only have like 3 or 4 options in the market, aftermarket. You will have like the Dogfighter system, Japanese company. Then you have GL pipes, and you have Jolly Moto. Jolly Moto got bought from GL, and you can now, in Europe at least, only buy GL pipes or GL systems, which makes sense because they're from the Czech Republic, which is like not too far away from Germany, so shipping is not too expensive, no customs and other stuff. And yeah, you can buy they have 2 versions. You have the original 3XV version, which is very close to the original one. It's optimized for the original cylinder setup, original carbs and everything. So nothing for my engine setup. However, if you use the system from the 4DP, which is the TZ, which is the race bike, like no road registration, just race bike. You could have bought like back in the day from Yamaha, and they kind of fit, but not really. You need some different adapters on the cylinder side. You need to weld like a hook for the chassis, so not ideal. But someone told me that they are working on the shorter 4DP pipes, because the whole resonance chamber on the original bike is like very long, very long for the original very low and small cylinder channels. And if you have like big high channels, you will not get the most power with the original chamber or with the GL chamber for the original engine. So you need the smaller one for the TZ. It's not smaller, it's shorter. So you have more power on the higher RPMs, and you have a power band that isn't like this narrow, but more wide. So that's the reason why I wanted to use TZ pipes. And someone told me they are currently working on TZ pipes that fit the 3XV without any mods. And that would be really great. They are going to work on it. I think the first ones are going out in November, maybe. So it's not that bad, because until I will be buying like an exhaust, it will be like spring. Because I'm going to do the engine with Jürgen around the beginning of next year, January, February, because He said after Christmas, but the problem is I also have like exam season, which is like on the end of January to mid-February. I don't know yet. So after this, we will do the engine, of course. And before that, I'm just going to clean everything, get all the bolts recoated, and put the chassis together, as you before, seen before. I also made a small mistake. I was lying under Jürgen's 3XV to see how the knuckles are attached to the mainframe because I didn't find anything. And I put the screw, just wind the video back, I put the screw on the mainframe in the first hole, and it was more near to the swing arm. But there's also a second one, like behind, like this far behind, and that's the right one. So I'm going to correct this. And yeah, also a friend of mine also took in the problem with the uh, front fork holder with the bearing, with the lower bearing. I already forgot the name again, and he will press it in accordingly, and I will have the part back like in a week or two, and then I can actually, not quite. I could assemble the front end, but I'm going to get everything replated, like with zinc. So I will probably not put it together because I need to take everything apart and look, but it's not that much. It's like the screws from the lower suspension arm knuckles. Maybe I'm going to bring in like the axis from the swing arm and the nut and everything. If you're doing it like properly, it should be recoated. I already considered it before, but I didn't know how or where or what. So I talked with Jürgen a little, and he said, yeah, just go to this place or this place, and they're going to replate it. It's not like totally difficult. You can plate it in a yellowish coat, which you will probably all know, or a bluish, which is basically if you go to the hardware store and buy screws from steel, they are mostly like zinc plated in blue, which is like the standard metal color with a slight blue touch. And I'm going to get them replated in this color, I guess. And yeah, that's actually everything for this video. And I hope you enjoyed. And until next time.